On a bright but chilly morning in the middle of the city's financial district, where glass towers scrape the sky and expensive cars hum the long polished streets, a little girl with dusty cheeks and tired eyes pushed open the enormous heavy doors of the Grand Crest Bank. Her name was Aria Nolan, and her small hands clutched a worn-out, faded card the way someone holds the last piece of hope they have left in the world. Sunlight poured through the tall windows, but even in all that brightness, Aria looked like a shadow, fragile, trembling, and profoundly out of place among marble floors and towering columns. As she stepped forward, heads turned, not out of kindness, but out of confusion, surprise, and a strong dose of cruel judgment. All she wanted was simple. She desperately needed to check her balance. If you believe that arrogance must pay the price and that true wealth is often hidden, please hit that subscribe button. Your support ensures gentle kindness. Echo continues to expose the immediate consequences of prejudice. Aria's journey to that bank had not started with courage, it had begun with gnawing desperation. She had spent the last 2 days wandering the city with only a few coins in her pocket, wearing a torn gray shirt and jeans that barely fit. Her mother had always told her, before she passed away months ago, to keep the little white bank card safe. Aria had held on to it for years, never knowing if it meant anything. She only knew that today, with hunger gnawing at her stomach and strangers avoiding her on the sidewalks. She was finally ready to see if the card was worth anything and all if her mother had left her a miracle or nothing at all. The bank was alive with noise and energy that Aria had never experienced before. Screens flashed dizzying figures and stock charts. Workers in tailored suits hurried past one another, carrying files and expensive coffee cups. Every corner glowed with intimidating wealth. And in the center of all this power sat Maxwell Grant, one of the city's wealthiest investment magnates. His loud, confident laughter filled the air, echoing across the marble floor as he held court with his three carefully selected advisors. He was a man used to winning, used to power, and used to being utterly untouchable. Nothing ordinary ever rattled him. But then he noticed Aria. She stood timidly at the customer service desk, sliding her card forward. The banker behind the counter, Ellen O'Rourke, froze at the sight of the girl's condition. Aria's voice was barely audible as she explained what she needed. Elena offered her a soft smile, and recognizing the card's old archive designation, guided her gently toward Maxwell's exclusive terminal. Because only his advanced system could access the deeper records of old non-standard accounts. Maxwell watched her approach with bored, mild amusement. He assumed this was some ridiculous publicity stunt, or perhaps a pathetic misunderstanding. He leaned back in his expensive leather seat, chuckling quietly as the little girl stepped up to his counter. "Well, well," he muttered to his advisors, loud enough to be heard. "It seems the peasants are using the executive entrance now. Let's see what treasure this little pauper has found, shall we?" With a quick, theatrical motion, Aria handed him the card, an old, faded debit card that had seen far better years. Maxwell shook his head at the absurdity of it all. A billionaire being asked to check a presumed homeless child's bank balance. The situation was so surreal that he couldn't help the cruel, superior smirk growing on his face. "Don't worry, kid," he said condescendingly, taking the card. "We'll find you a nickel for a bus ride." Aria wasn't laughing. Her small hands were shaking. Her eyes darted nervously around the large room, absorbing every single judgmental stare. She just wanted answers, just one moment of truth. The room seemed to hush as Maxwell inserted the card into the exclusive screen. Then everything changed. Maxwell's smile instantly evaporated. His eyebrows slowly drew together into a single line of disbelief. He leaned forward, rereading the digits on the screen, as if they might rearrange themselves into something more believable, something small. His three advisors instantly stepped closer, their faces shifting from curiosity to open-mouthed, paralyzing shock. Elena held her breath behind the counter. The balance on the screen wasn't empty. It wasn't small. It wasn't normal. It was enormous. Aria's mother had once worked at a small community center where she met a kind-hearted, aging entrepreneur named Victor Hale. Victor, childless and immensely grateful to Aria's mother for her simple human kindness in his final, Lonely Months had created an irrevocable trust fund in Arya's name. The fund had grown year by year, untouched, accumulating interest in shrewd investments that Victor had set to continue even after his passing. He had hoped one day that Arya would find her way to it, when she needed it the most. And today, when she was starving and alone, was that exact day. Maxwell stared at the impossible figure on the screen, a number that contained 7 zeros, preceded by a digit far larger than his own available capital. He realized instantly that the little girl standing in front of him was not just a child in need. She was one of the wealthiest individuals he had ever encountered in his career. Wealth that she herself didn't even know existed. For the first time in years, Maxwell felt an icy, crushing wave of humiliation wash over him. His arrogance was not just misplaced, it was catastrophic. The girl he had openly laughed at was now the owner of a fortune that outclassed even some of his most powerful clients. The room watched as he rose slowly from his chair, looking at Arya. Not with pity, but with profound professional fear and respect, a respect she had earned without lifting a finger. He was humbled, completely, utterly silenced by the raw power of her hidden capital. Arya, however, didn't understand the number on the screen. She only knew that Maxwell suddenly looked different, less amused, more human, and profoundly scared. Elena crouched beside her and explained softly what the truth was. As the words washed over Arya, her lips parted in disbelief. Tears welled in her eyes. She wasn't alone anymore. She wasn't helpless. Her mother had left her something far more powerful than she ever imagined: security, hope, and an ironclad chance at a future. If you believe that the ultimate revenge against prejudice is overwhelming, silent truth, please take a moment to share this story. The room whispered, stunned by the instant financial and moral reversal they had just witnessed. Maxwell, famous for his arrogance, was now required to assist the child he had just mocked. He cleared his throat, his voice tight. He offered her food, water, and, crucially, promised to personally assign his best financial advisors to protect her interests until a proper guardian could be appointed. This was his reckoning. He had to serve the one he despised. If you have ever been mocked for your appearance, drop a comment below. Your story proves that true value is rarely visible on the surface. Arya nodded, still overwhelmed, clutching the card that had just transformed her life. It was still daytime, but for Arya, the world felt new, warmer, brighter, and finally safe. The immense humiliation of Maxwell Grant was now a matter of record among the most powerful advisors in the city. His immediate public professional downfall was the ultimate price of his initial arrogant smirk. We believe in consequences. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another story where arrogance is instantly paid back. As Arya stepped out of the Grand Crest Bank later that afternoon, walking into the golden daylight, she realized that hidden in the most unexpected places, there were gifts left behind by those who loved us. Gifts powerful enough to change everything. For more chronicles of immediate social and financial payback, click on the video. Now showing the inheritance deception for another story of justice. Thank you for witnessing this powerful, gentle kindness echo.